Hello, my dear students. Hope that you all are doing well. Today, we are going to solve this question, which is on the screen. So, without using a calculator, find the positive root of the equation. So, we have an equation and we have to find the positive root of this equation. And remember this point as well, that we have to give our final answer in this form, a plus b root 2. So, this is important. If you will go to this step, then you are going to get the full marks. Otherwise, they are going to just deduct your sum of the marks. So therefore, try to understand. This question could be solved using the properties of quadratic equation, as well as some of the concepts from the indices and surds. You have this chapter number 4, indices and surds. You have this chapter, and there you have the rationalization. So we are going to use all the properties together and we are going to solve this question. First of all, you might be knowing that quadratic formula for solving these kind of equation is if I have to find the positive root. So if I have to find the positive root, let it be x. Okay, so the formula would be minus b plus root b square minus 4ac divided by 2a. So this is the formula. If you will see the equation, your a would be equal to, this is my a, this whole thing is my b, and this thing is my c. If you will see, the standard form of any quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c. Right. So therefore, we should have positive sign and positive sign here. So here we should have a positive, and here also we should have a positive to make it in standard form. So with comparing with its standard form, we come to know that the value of a which we have, which we are going to use in this formula, is 5 minus 2 root 2. What is my b? My b would be minus, always remember, because here in a standard form we have plus bx, so therefore it would be plus this much, right? So the value of my b would be minus 4 plus 2 root 2. Many of the students, they make the mistake, they leave this minus sign and they only write the value of b as 4 plus 2 root 2, which is wrong, right? You have to remember. In the same way, here we should have a plus sign, but here it's minus sign. So therefore, my c is equal to minus 2. So now I know that what is my value of a, b, and c. Now we are going to find this one first of all, because it would be very complicated if we would be solving everything here. So first of all, try to find root b square minus 4ac. So first of all, I'm going to find b square minus 4ac. I'm going to find b square. That means square of this thing, this whole thing. So I'm going to find b square. That means minus is there outside, right? And we have 4 plus 2 root 2 like this. So b square, this is my b square, this whole thing is b and this is b square, and minus 4ac. What is my a? My a is 5 minus 2 root 2, and my c is minus 2. I'm going to solve this part. Try to understand. Here if you will see, here we have two things. Here we have minus 1 and we are multiplying minus 1 with whole thing, what is in the bracket. You might be knowing this formula, that if we have a and b and if we have a square, we can write a square and b square separately like this. So therefore, while solving this question, I could write like this, minus 1 square, because here if it is minus, it is nothing but minus 1. I think you might be knowing this basic concept of grade 10th extended maths, right? So it would be minus 1 square. That means if I'll do minus 1 square, and again I am going to do 4 plus 2 root 2 square, like this I am going to solve this part, right? Try to understand. Here minus 1 square would be 1, because you might be knowing the square of any number is positive, whether that is a negative number or a positive number. So a square of minus 1 would be 1, and 1 multiplied to anything, that is not going to make any change. So therefore I could say that I just have to solve this part. That means 4 plus 2 root 2 whole square. And if you will see, this is on the formula of a plus b square or x plus y square. So I'm going to use the formula to solve this part. So I'm going to use the formula, try to understand. It would be a square, that means 4 square, plus 2ab, means I'm going to write 2, my a is 4, right? And my b would be 2 root 2, plus b square. My b square is 2 root 2 square. Okay, now I am going to solve this one. Try to understand. Here we have minus 2 and here we have minus 4. When minus 2 and minus 4 would be multiplied, it will give me plus 8. And when plus 8 would be multiplied here into 5, so it will give me plus 40. Oh, I'm so sorry. It will give me, yes, correct. So it will give me plus 40. Okay, correct. Now, here we have plus 8. Remember this one. Here we have plus 8. Something we should mentally also we could solve some of the thing. Plus 8 and plus 8 is multiplied here. Try to understand. Plus 8 to multiplied here. So it will give me minus 16 root 2. If you don't know these things, you can join me personally. I would be giving my number, right? And I will teach you everything at very nominal fee. So we would be writing this one. Try to solve this part then. 4 square would be 16. So we are going to write 16 there, right? And then again solve this part. 4 2s are 8, 8 2s are 16. So again we have 16 root 2 like this. And again solve this. You might be knowing that if you have a root b like this and square, I'm going to make the square of this one and this one, right? And you also be knowing that if root a square is there, it would be only a. So therefore, when I'm going to solve this part, it would be 4, 2 square would be 4, and root 2 square would be just 2. And 4 into 2 would be 8. So here we are going to get 8, right? And rest of the thing I'm going to copy as it is. One more thing you can see here, that here we have this one in plus, here we have this one in minus, so we can cancel each other, right? And now if we will add everything, so it is going to give me 16 plus 8 is going to give me 24 and 40, it is going to give me 64. That means the value of b square minus 4ac is 64. And if I put this under root 64, it will give me 8. So I had to use this formula, and here I calculated that this whole thing is nothing but 8, right? I think up to here you have understood. Now we are going to the next step. Now we are just going to put our everything in this formula, okay? So my formula is minus b plus root over b square minus 4ac, whose value I know right now, and we have 2a like this. Try to understand. I'm going to solve for x, okay? So here the formula is minus b, and if you will see, my b is itself minus 4 plus 2 root 2 like that. So therefore, when minus b and this minus sign would be multiplied together, the whole thing will become plus. So directly I'm going to write 4 plus 2 root 2, right? This minus sign would be eliminated because we already have minus b there, right? So it would be 4, what was my value? 4 plus 2 root 2. 4 plus 2 root 2. This would be my value for b. And I already know, I already solved this one. This whole thing is nothing but this thing is 8, right? Now try to understand. Now we have 2a. That means I'm going to multiply it by 2 and a. What is my a? My a is 5 minus 2 root 2. 5 minus 2 root 2. Okay. Try to understand this step. Can I add this? 8 plus 4, it is going to give me 12. And again it would be just 2 root 2. We can't add them together, right? And if you will see, so this is, see, I'm solving step by step, so if you are a beginner, you could understand how the things are solved. Now try to understand. Can I take 2 common? See, right now we cannot cross each other by 2, right? Because they are in plus. When they are in multiplication, then we can cross and cancel, right? Most of the students, they are just canceling like this, which is not good, okay? Which is wrong. So here, first of all, we are going to take 2 common out of both. Here also we have 2 hidden, here 6 into 2, and here we already have 2. So I'm going to take 2 common out of this one also and this one also. Okay, so when I'll take 2 common out, there would be just 6 because I have taken 2 common, right? And here I just have root 2, right? And here I have divided by 2, 5 minus 2 root 2. And now see, they are in multiplication. This and this is in multiplication. Now I can cancel them. And if you did that, now you just have to rationalize. Why you have to rationalize? Why this is not my answer? Because they want the answer in this form. And to make in this form, I need to rationalize. You might be knowing that for rationalization, I'm going to multiply by the opposite sign of denominator. That means I'm going to multiply both numerator and denominator by 5 2 root 2 like this. Numerator and denominator also 5 2 root 2. But here in denominator, we have negative sign. But when we rationalize, we divide and multiply, right? We multiply and divide with positive sign. So here I'm going to put a plus. Here also I'm going to put a plus. Right now I just have to multiply them both. Okay, I'm just going to multiply. You might be knowing how we multiply algebraically. We just multiply this thing with 5, then this thing to this one, then this thing to this, and this thing again to this, like that. Okay, and if you will see, this is a formula, a minus b, a plus b, and you might be knowing what is its formula, a square minus b square. This is a kind of identity on which we can break. We might have studied in polynomial in grade 10th, right? So first of all, I'm going to solve this. 6 times 5 is going to give me 30. Then again 6 times 2 root 2. Then 6 times 2 would be 12 and just root 2. So 12 root 2 I'm going to write like this. Then again solve by this. 6 times root 2 times 5. So it is just going to give me 5 root 2. And again we have root 2 times 2 root 2. That means root 2 and root 2 would be multiplied together. It will give me root 2 and root 2 will give me just 2, and there is 2 more. Means 2 and 2, it will make 4 if you will multiply here like this. Try to understand. 2 root 2 and then again multiplied by root 2. This root 2 and root 2 is going to make 2, and here we already have 2. So 2 times 2 is going to make 4. So I'm going to write 4 like that. Okay. Now try to understand. Here we are just going to break it. Here we are just going to break it in a square minus b square, because we have this formula, right? So we are just going to break this one. So here 5 square, a square means 5 square, that would be 25, and the square of this one 2 root 2 square, like this. So it would be 2 square would be 4 and root 2 square would be 2. The whole thing would be 8, right? Try to understand. So here what we are going to get, here we are going to get as 8, right? 25 minus 8. Okay, a square means 5 square is 25 and the square of whole thing is 8, right? Now we are going to solve the next step. Try to understand. We can add the like terms. This one and this one could be added, right? So again I'm adding 30 and 4, that will give me 34, and 12 root 2 plus 5 root 2 will give me 17 root 2. And now when I subtract this one, it is going to give me 5 17. It is going to give me 17 by subtracting. Now if you will see, we can again take 17 common from this and this as well, because here in 34 17 is hidden, 17 times 2, and here we already have 17. So I'm going to take 17 common. So when I'll take 17 common, what I'm going to get, I'm going to get 2 plus root 2. I'm going to get the value like this, and here just divided by 17. Now they are in multiplication, they can be cancelled. So 17 and 17 would be cancelled, and now my final answer is 2 plus root 2. And if you will see, they were asking for this kind of answer where we have a plus b root 2. So here instead of a we have 2, and instead of b we just have 1. So we have answer in form of a plus b root 2, where a is 2 and b is nothing but 1. So this is my final answer, and this is the way how we could solve this question. If you are good at calculation, believe me, I was just explaining you, if I would get this question to solve, I can solve this question for 4 to 5 minutes it will take. Means maximum time which I'll take to solve this question is 4 minutes, not more than that, right? Even less than that. So if you like this video, then please subscribe to my channel. This is my new channel. I am an international tutor teaching to all the curriculums, mainly the IGCSE curriculum, US curriculum and all. So you can join me as a tutor, personal tutor at very nominal charges. So this is my number, and I'm just going to bring this kind of videos regularly. So please support my channel so that I could get motivation to bring more past year papers on additional maths, because there are few teachers who are teaching additional maths. Okay. And I'm actually, I believe that I'm best. Everyone should have the confidence. I also believe that I'm best at teaching maths and physics. So that's how I am. So have a nice day, and we are going to meet in another video.